In this video, I'm going to explain all the points of interest and why you want to explore them in Elden Ring Nightreign. This first icon is a split stream jump. This is what it looks like on the map, and when you see it in person, it's basically this blue glow that goes upwards, pretty much doing exactly what you can imagine. When you go in it and you activate it, you jump up and you can control the direction that you fly in, which is pretty cool. The next icon is a spectral hawk tree. This is pretty much to activate a glider. This is what it looks like in person. It looks like a glowing tree. When you go up to it, you can interact with the button and it will actually summon a spectral hawk and take you into the sky. Now, these will actually go along a very specific route. There are some in the game that don't have any route, but you'll see here on the map, it's going to follow this like wind tunnel that goes along here. So like this wind tunnel shows you exactly where it's going to lead to. And at any point you can see you can descend going lower, or you can disembark and jump off entirely at your own discretion. So if you want to drop somewhere, that's how you do it. The next icon looks like this. It's yellow. It's a church, and churches are very important. This is what they look like in person. They have a Statue of America inside them, and you can interact with the little altar at the front here to add a charge to your flask. So at default, you start every round with 3 flasks, and if you equip this from the church, you will get an additional flask, pushing you up to 4. As you complete this, the church will gray out, but you should also know there are always 3 churches available on every single map that you play, so you can get a total of 6 flasks. This next icon is a mage tower. As you can see here, it will have its door locked or blocked like this, where you'll have to unlock and break the seal. Sometimes it might be a seal that you'll have to break above the door. Sometimes it might be around on the walls over here. You'll have to look for something inconspicuous like this, like random window thing here. If you go ahead and you break this, that will reveal the seal over here, and then you'll just go ahead and break that seal. Once you've broken that seal, you'll be able to go through the doorway. There are different ways that that seal can be hidden around, so look around the area for something similar. When you're inside here, you're just going to parkour and jump all the way to the top, because that is a thing that you can do now in this game. And you're going to make your way all the way to the top of the tower, and you should see there is some items that you can pick up. They're going to mostly be magic related. Now, the next location is a great church, and will often have an icon of what element item you can find by defeating this church, or what kind of enemies to expect here. This one in this case has fire, and you'll see here you either fight the boss in this location on the top floor, or you might get the underground one where they're actually downstairs in the catacombs. So you can go down and you should find the boss just before a boss door like over here. So you'll defeat the boss and get the loot. You can also find a special chest. Sometimes it will be behind this altar on the first floor. In this case, it's right behind here, and you can loot this. This will often have a stone sword key that you can equip, which you'll be using at Everjails later on. If you don't find the chest over there, you can actually parkour and make your way to the top floor where there is a second location. So you can pretty much climb. Since this game is all about parkour now, you can pretty much climb and make your way up to new areas, and you should find a chest along at the top there somewhere. Now, speaking of stone sword keys, when you get this, you can only use this at one location, and these are Everjails. This is what it looks like on the map, and when you see it in person, it's basically like a big circle, platform with has a statue over here where you can interact with it with your key, and this will go ahead and summon pretty much a random set of bosses for you to go ahead and fight for some rewards. Once you defeat these enemies, you will get a reward that either gives you 10,000 runes or another random perk, but you'll always have the option to get the 10,000, which is pretty cool. The next icon you can find are for runes. Now, these will also have different elements of different types of, weapons that will drop here by defeating the enemy boss. Now, runes layout is pretty much always the same once you find the rune. It's just the enemies are different. And this will typically have a boss that you will go ahead and fight inside here. These and the great churches are a great way to begin the beginning of your game to level up. But also go ahead and explore them, because some of them have like a downward stairs pathway to a treasure room that you can find a bunch of new items and stuff. So make sure you explore it thoroughly to find the loot. Now, the next location is a fort. These are like mini forts that have a great enemy at the top that can be a variety of things, like some magic or some arrow bullshit like that guy at the top there. But they'll also have a merchant and a armor smithing station where you can upgrade your quality of your weapons. You'll also find a merchant in this location that will have a variety of items to help you along your adventure. So check this out and see if there's anything you might need from here. He also has smithing stones in the blue quality to upgrade common armaments. So things that are not already blue quality, you can upgrade them to blue quality. You can head inside the fortress and go ahead and fight the bosses that exist inside here. Once you go up here, there is a boss that you can fight at the top section. And after you fight them, you should see in the tower here, there is a map that you can interact with to learn about the locale. What this is going to do is actually going to show you locations of all the different beetles on the map that you can go ahead and kill to get talismans, as well as these locations over here for just like lost treasure icons over here. So you should find like treasure chests just like hidden. So doing the fortress is going to allow you to find those secret items in the world. The next location are main camps or townships like this over here. On the map, it's represented by this icon. And in here, you'll find a bunch of enemies. You'll also find, you know, like a boss that you will have to defeat. You can also find another merchant and upgrading smithing station for your armaments too. So if you want to upgrade, you can also do it here. Our next location is for the mines. Anytime you see this, it is the entrance or an exit for a mine. These kind of link across the map into two different places. So you're going to go in here ideally, and you're going to look for the main enemy to defeat, because a lot of these guys take a while to fight. You're just going to go in here and fight the boss. The boss will have a high chance of dropping smithing stones so that you can upgrade your equipment to epic quality, as you can see over here. So if you haven't already upgraded your weapon to epic, always visit the mine in day 2 to just, you know, get that final upgrade out. At the middle of every single map, the castle is located over here. And you can see this is a giant castle that literally has a bunch going on. Now in the castle, you'll find some rare enemies that are annoying to fight sometimes. This one is particularly bad with giants throwing stuff. You won't be able to go through the gate in here to the armory just yet, but you will be able to fight a special boss that is located underneath the castle that you can always access from the bottom over here. You'll see this is kind of like taking the sewer way into the castle, and you'll always find an enemy over here behind a golden door that you can fight. When you do eventually beat this boss and go inside the castle, you can then access it and go explore even deeper into the castle itself. This will lead you into the armory room, which is behind those gates that you saw, which has a chest over here that will actually give you some talismans, which are quite rare to find. So you get to choose between different talismans that you can equip. You're able to wear 2 of these on your character at any point of time. And if you want to leave, you just walk up to the gate and it will pretty much automatically open once you get near it. And then that's how you can get out. A great way to get to the top of the castle is from the river below and using a spirit stream jump to pretty much make your way up there like this. And you'll pretty much parkour your way across to get to the main entrance, which is located over here. So just over there, you can see there's the doorway and we can run inside and explore. So that's how you get here. The rest is on to you and how you want to explore and what you want to fight inside this area. The next icon is for field bosses. Now this, you can actually find the bosses in the world, but they're not marked on the map until day 2 comes around. So this will apply to things like that dragon over there in the distance. In day 2, you're going to want to try focus on those as much as you can because they're going to drop really decent rewards and a bunch of runes to level up. Lastly is the tree icon. This will only appear when it is the end of day, and it will pretty much tell you that you need to be in that circle before the night rain reaches you. So if you see that icon, that means you need to get your ass moving. I hope this helped you understand what each of the icons on the map means and where you should start playing and how you should, you know, play the game, like what locations to go to and what to focus on and when to focus on it. I'll see you guys in a future video, and thanks for watching.